All right, guys, I'm going to walk you through how to run successful coaching calls so that you can increase customer experience, results, and most importantly, build an engaged client community. And this works if you're doing any sort of one-on-one coaching or group coaching calls, okay, or some sort of mastermind and anything in between. This even works if you're having, for example, a community for your agency and you're just looking to, improve the customer experience overall so that people stick for longer and, well, essentially don't see you as a commodity, okay? The first thing that I want to let you guys know is that if you want to get this document, just make sure to join my free Facebook group with a link in the description so that you can get this plus all of my documents. Also, watch at 2x speed so that you can save yourself some time and just, well, leave the video knowing a little bit more than you know already, okay? So the first thing that I want to let you guys know is that in my previous video, I talk about how we set up our group masterminds in such a way that not only do we improve the client community and build a more engaged client hub, but most importantly, we allow more people to proactively learn everything that has to do with lead generation, appointment setting, sales, client acquisition, okay? And that is by actually asking a certain set of questions and by following a certain model that nobody actually does, and I think that has been the key to the kingdom for us to have such great results. Like, you can go ahead and check the link in the description, almost 50 pages of, well, just client wins, okay? And again, go ahead and watch the video because that's where I explain everything a little bit better. But let me just walk you through the high-level overview of what we discussed in that video. The first thing is that I think that group coaching, if done right, is significantly better than one-on-one if you apply what you will learn in this video. And here is why. Because if you have your coaching offer or your consulting offer and you're doing everything one-on-one, the problem is that you're always going to be on a one-to-one ratio, of course, limited to the knowledge that you have and the skill that you have. Whether they're amazingly huge or not so much, the truth of the matter is that your student always needs to ask the right questions, plus you have to have a certain set of skills as a coach for them to actually ask those best questions, okay? So you're always not only limited in terms of how many clients you can have, because you're always going to be one-to-one. Like, of course, if you want to have 100 clients, you need 100 calls. And number two, and time is limited, and number two, the only things that you are going to talk about in that coaching call is simply the things that you guys are limited in your understanding. Like, there's no more points of view outside of just what your client is asking and what you're saying to them, okay? Now, the problem is that then people say, okay, so I will do group coaching call. But the problem is that most people do a group coaching calls almost as if it was simply a one-on-one, but in group format, okay? So they have a whole bunch of people in the Zoom meeting, and one client at a time asks questions, and you answer those questions, and then student A finishes, and then student B asks a question, then student B finishes, and then student C asks another question, so on and so forth, while other people don't even say anything in the first place. Of course, all of this leads to less engagement, it's boring for people who are not talking, less community, etc. In that video, I talk about the best way to do it, okay? So it's essentially a mastermind where you can just proactively engage other people even if they are not asking questions. So it's like you get a question, you then ask the client who asked the question for them to actually tell you what the rationale is behind their problem, what they have tried so far. At the same time, you ask the rest of the community so that these people actually engage in that, so that you can, first of all, kill more birds with one stone. If one client is struggling with this, probably other people are also struggling with that. But at the same time, other people are going to give you their opinions. And then people are going to use something called active recall for them to immerse themselves into taking stuff out of their brain, which facilitates the implementation of whatever your program does, okay? It could be for weight loss, it could be for muscle mass, it could be for your business coaching solution, for a unique mechanism that you sell, on a cold email coaching offer, I don't know, whatever you do. All of this, of course, leads to more engagement, more community, better customer experience, people learn better, etc. And of course, that's what I talked in that video, in the previous video. So make sure to go ahead and watch that one for you to learn everything more in depth. But I want to now walk you through the main stages or the way in which you can run a successful coaching call, both in a one-on-one format as well as in a group coaching format. And of course, it doesn't matter what your main offer is right now. Like, this is something that you can start applying immediately, as soon as tomorrow. So when it comes to one-on-one coaching, there's something that I call the main stages. And these main stages are just like a framework that I like to follow for you to not only motivate your client, but also make sure that they are on the right track, while at the same time commit them so that they can have something to look forward to, and there's just a better customer experience overall, okay? So whenever you have a one-on-one call, you always want to start off with the wins, okay? So for example, you can say, like, since the last time we had our call, or since the onboarding call, or since the last time we talked, what has happened? Like, let me just celebrate you on your progress. And progress can be anything from finishing their market research to losing 1 pound of fat, improving their deadlift by 5 pounds, or maybe started to, if you're a dating coach, for example, just how many girls respond to your cold DMs, for example, okay? So I don't know, it's going to depend on what you sell, of course, but you start off with the wins, then you want to ask them what the lessons were so that they actually install that in their mind, and they can also start to shift their beliefs and their identity towards that change and the transformation that they are going through, that of course, hopefully your program helps them solve, okay? So first of all the wins, then the lessons learned. Then you want to ask about the opportunities and challenges, aka what your program or what your coaching offer solution should do anyways. That's what you want to talk about next, so that you can see, like, based on the progress we did, now we have a different set of bottlenecks. Let's solve those bottlenecks. Ideally, the next coaching call that you guys have is going to be where the lessons learned and the wins are going to be the solving of those bottlenecks talked in the first or the previous coaching call, okay? So based on that, you're going to give them a certain set of action items that are going to be tracked and that they are going to execute on, and then some commitments and goals for the next sessions, so that you can always have, regardless of whether or not they start to hit that 100K month that they might have, for example, if that's what you sell in your coaching program, what is the minimum commitment, or what is the minimum tangible outcome that we're looking for us to hit to that goal? For example, if you're booking currently 30 calls per month, how are we going to start booking 60? For example, that's just an idea, okay? So those are the main stages of the one-on-one coaching model. Now, the main stages of the group coaching call are just better, in my opinion, because it's basically following this path that I showed in here. And I personally like to start off all of my coaching calls with same thing, with sharing some wins. It can be 30 seconds per client, just like, hey guys, like, what has happened in the last coaching call? Like, tells you sign more clients, tells you book more calls, tells you your clients are getting better results thanks to whatever, etc. And then that just allows for people to start talking. But I also like to sprinkle in some fun, community, and goodwill, okay? And this is something that you should have everyone engaging in. So for example, one of these days I started one of my coaching calls just talking about music with my clients. You know that I love music. That's why at the end of my YouTube videos I recommend music. And I was just asking, like, I have clients from India, from the US, from Canada, from the UK, from Georgia, from Latin America, my country, Costa Rica now, from Colombia, from Mexico, etc., from Argentina. One of the guys from India shared a singer from India, and we were just talking and having some fun, talking about how the guy looked like the typical SaaS founder, marketer. And I mean, I don't remember the name of the guy right now, but actually, let me search that for you, just a second. Okay, just found it. So, for example, you can see my guy, Ricky. He actually recommended the singer. I thought that it was Richie Singh. And he corrected me, it was Arijit Singh, okay? And what we're talking about on that call is literally just how this guy literally looks like the typical SaaS founder, marketer. Like, just guys, tell me if this guy doesn't look like the guy who, I don't know, who founded Zoom Info or something, right? So that's one of the things that I always like to do at the beginning of my coaching calls, just trying to build that community and making sure that we can all participate and engage between all of us. That's super powerful because people get to know each other, they feel motivated, they start to attend more the calls because they attend the calls, and it's actually something that is fun and is nice to do. They start taking more action. Because they take more action, they get better results, okay? So always start with sprinkling in some fun. Then I like to, again, do some wins, celebration of progress, and this is something that everyone does. And then we start with the engaged questions, okay? Engaged questions is, again, what I talked in the previous video on this part in here, and is client-specific, but engages, okay? So, for example, the client asks a certain question, you answer that specifically, but you engage the rest of the community so that they can also participate in the process. And at the end of the call, you simply have your commitments and goals for the next sessions. Similar to what we did over here, I like to always make sure that people are held accountable to solving one of the problems that is preventing them from actually, growing their company in whatever way, shape, or form, depending on where they're at in their journey. Make sense? So guys, having this baseline or this framework is going to allow you to have some fun, but at the same time, simply making sure that you're always on the right track and your clients feel understood and that your clients feel that they belong to something that is not just, the coaching program. Make sense? So if you like to see how we track all of this, I also have, not the previous one, but the video after the last one. I will just leave it here, of course, for you guys, where I share how I track all of the coaching calls and how I make sure that I can keep track of the wins, the accountability, the community build, etc. Okay? So essentially, this and the last two videos are all about how to conduct the coaching calls, how to build a successful coaching experience, and all of that good jazz, which I think that for most of you guys is something that is not interesting, but it's like the actual stuff that you are paid for, so it's better that you actually know how to do it. Make sense? So if this video was helpful, guys, make sure to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss out on all of the other stuff that I'll be sharing towards this. I would also like to invite you guys to, book a call with me, with my team, so that I can walk you through, how we help you start or scale your coaching business, marketing agency, or digital consultancy. Again, if you go ahead and click the first link in the description, you're going to see just shy of 50 pages, not client results, but 50 pages of client results, so that you can see that we know what we're talking about. So make sure to click the first link, scroll down through all of the case studies and the testimonials, and once you are just bored of scrolling down, make sure to book a meeting, okay? So, thank you for your time watching this video. Again, if this was helpful, just like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need it. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.